What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to Comic Breakdown. In today's video, we are jumping into X-Men issue number 25. And the fall of X is in full effect. Orchis has finally made their move, and that was a devastating blow to all of mutant kind, with Omega level mutants being taken off the board, a mass deportation of all mutants to Mars, and now we are left with a small pocket of resistance, with only a handful of individuals that are here left on Earth. One of them is none other than Kitty Pryde, and with everything that Orchis has done, we see the return of SHADOWKAT. Now, if you're a fan of Kitty Pryde, I promise you this is a comic that you need to go out and you need to buy today. Absolutely amazingly written. Kitty Pryde has finally had enough. After the mutant massacre, nothing is off limits. Krakoa may have had laws, but now that it has fallen, all of the rules have gone out the window, and it is time for mutant kind to strike back. So make sure you guys have subscribed to the channel, make sure that you like this video, and with that being said, let's dive into this breakdown. Alright gang, so as we dive into this comic, it is picking up over the course of a couple of weeks. It starts us off with Kitty Pryde. She has made her way back to the old mansion, because recently Orchis had changed the world. But after the Hellfire Gala, what we saw is Kitty Pryde is able to go through gateways. Previously, she was never able to do so. While every other mutant was walking through gateways, she was one of the few that was not able to do so. But whatever Orchis did to the gates, this has allowed her to finally walk through them, being the only person on this planet that can walk through the gateways. Kitty Pryde has become the most valuable player in this game, but she's made her way back to the old mansion for a reason. And if you're a longtime X-Men fan, you know that Kitty Pryde has gone by many names over the years. She's gone by Ariel. She's gone by Sprite. She's gone by Captain Kate Pryde, the Red Queen. But having a warrant out for her arrest, she can no longer go by these names. She has come back to the mansion for some weapons. She has come back for her swords. Attached to those swords is a letter, a small note from the Ninja O-Gun. And it reads, "You will forever be the weapon that made you, SHADOWKAT." And so while she prepares to do what must be done, we pick up with Dr. Stasis. Reading a headline July 27th, 2023, the Daily Bugle is reporting on the mutant massacre. And of course, Orchis is blaming Krakoa for everything. With Dr. Stasis speaking to the world, he does so in front of a gateway. We see that this gateway has posters all over it. But Dr. Stasis is here to let everybody know that Krakoa is to blame for everything, from the laced medicine to the massacre itself, but also saying that there are a select few mutants, ones that don't believe in Xavier's cult, mutants like Firestar. And with S.H.I.E.L.D. no longer being active, Orchis has taken over that role. They have been doing mass deportations of all mutants, headed them directly for Arakko. But they have also been forcing mutants to take the cure. Of course, they don't let the public know that. They say that it's all voluntary. But he swears that they will protect the planet. And they now go by the slogan, "If you see a mutant, say something." This is what takes us to the White House. We are picking up with the President of the United States and Fei Long. Stark Sentinels posted on the outside. Now, Fei Long is really just letting us know that the operations are ongoing. There's still a few bad apples that they need to round up, but for the most part, there are no longer mutants on Earth. Not only that, but they are building a robust defense system on the moon. They're also deploying the war machines up to the moon that circles the red planet. Fei Long is setting up the defenses. He is ensuring that any attack that might come from Mars is going to be thwarted. But he does swear to the president that mutants are being treated with respect, that they are given dignity, taking us to a prison facility that holds mutants. We pick up with Dr. Stasis. And Dr. Stasis has come to talk to Prisoner 10, with Dr. Stasis walking into the cell. And he goes on to tell this mutant that I really want to help you out, but he needs this mutant's help to do so. That maybe they can help each other, but mutant kind took over an entire planet. Mars is theirs. Earth doesn't seem to want to be doing anything about it. So what he's telling him is to go live there. Go live on your guys' planet and leave Earth alone. That if he will endorse the official story of the mutant massacre, there may be trials and convictions, but this will help solidify the mass deportation of every mutant. That a little compliance may save a ton of lives. This is where we see that Prisoner 10 is none other than Scott, and we see Cyclops strapped down to this table. Of course, he's not going to make any deal with Dr. Stasis, and what they have done to Cyclops is stapled his eyes shut. They have pinned him down with adamantium. There is no getting out for him, but he will never cooperate with any of them. When Scott goes on to say that the X-Men will do something, Dr. Stasis interrupts him. He tells him that there is no more X-Men. Krakoa is empty. The transit system is shut down. The treehouse is burned. Your medicine is laced with a kill switch. And Orcus is playing both sides of this. That Orcus is the only one saying to use restraint. That it's not all mutants. Of course, obviously, they don't believe this, but they need to be seen as the good guys. This is what takes us into the Morlock tunnels. We pick up with Synch, Talon, Rasputin, Miss Marvel, and Shadowkat. And right now, they are making plans. Now, that prison that Scott is in, they don't know that he is in there. What they do know is that they have stepped up their defenses. This means that there are high-value mutant targets inside of there, ones that they want to rescue. Now, with Shadowkat making her arrival, we see that Synch wants to have a conversation with her. But Kitty Pryde has become a different person. Not wanting to have any conversation, we see her go through a wall, and Synch follows behind her. Thinking to herself she never understood how annoying it was to have somebody do that until somebody did it to her. But Synch is here and he is getting ready to patch her up. Kitty Pryde has been through the ringer, and so while he stitches her up, he wants her to know that Miss Marvel is a little afraid of her. And Kitty thinks that this is a good idea, that it should be that way because she's not cut out to be an X-Men, that Miss Marvel needs to walk away. But Synch would disagree. But Synch continues on saying that Rasputin also thinks that you hate her. The way that Kitty sees it, with Rasputin here, it is just a reminder of their failures. But Synch lets her know that he doesn't blame anybody other than Orcus. And neither should Shadowkat. He also goes on to let her know that if you were at the top of your game, you wouldn't have any wound right now. No one would be able to touch you. The truth is, Kitty is getting sloppy, and that is because of her emotional state. She doesn't even know where Lockheed is. But Synch reminds her how important right now she is to everybody. That if they lose her, they don't lose just another mutant. They lose their best asset and secret weapon. Nobody can use a Krakoan gateways but her. Not even Rasputin. They've tried syncing up with her abilities, and they still can't do so. So whatever this is, it has nothing to do with her mutant gene. There is something more to Kitty Pryde that allows her to go through the gateways now. But if they lose Kitty Pryde, mutant kind is gonna suffer a devastating blow. Right now, she is needed on this team. He needs the consensus of mutants. He needs her to go out and scout the Orcus strongholds. Because the truth is, Kitty Pryde is their only asset that can really get a tab on what is going on the strengths, weaknesses, and positioning of the enemy. She has become the ghost in the machine. But more than that, on Mars, on Araco, the mutant civil war has begun. And when it comes to the Civil War, we're probably not going to see much of it unless we're reading the X-Men Red comics. But we do get small glimpses, with the mass deportation of mutant kind up to Mars. And those mutants have found no comfort, no helping hand. The mutants that have been dropped off here, they have been congregating at Port Prometheus. As Shadowkat comes through the gateway, this is where we see Woofer, a mutant that we have seen recently saved by the X-Men. But he has now been deported to Araco. Seeing Shadowkat come through the gateway, he believes that this is help, that this is reinforcements, that someone has come to save them. But Kitty lets him know that whatever you saw, you didn't see. And he keeps on going on and on. The truth is, the guy's scared. He's absolutely petrified. But SHADOWKAT pushes him against the wall and phases her sword into his chest. She lets him know that you're gonna compose yourself. You're gonna answer all of my questions. Otherwise, this is gonna get messy. Now, she didn't expect to get noticed. She was really just getting a consensus on what mutants are up here, looking for those that might have survived the attack. But she does go on to say that they got done dirty, that things are gonna be really rough for a while. She is unable to phase anybody through the gateways, that there is no help coming for them, not for a while. But every mutant that is still standing, they are now an X-Men. It is up to all of them. And while she was hoping to find Sunfire, Polaris, or Forge up here, they need the big guns, telling Woofer that it is now time to step up. It is time to be a leader, to keep everybody safe. That help will arrive, she just has no idea when. Handing him a book telling him to get a consensus on everybody here. Names, powers, all of it. That she will be back to come and collect. This is what takes us over to Forge. Now, some weeks ago, Forge was really working on ending homelessness. This was going to be his gift to humanity. They were going to show this to the world at the Hellfire Gala. Obviously, they didn't get the opportunity to do so. But Forge had gone through a gateway, coerced to do so, and he ended up on a distant planet. And when he tries to go back through the gateway, he recognizes that it is closed. He understands that Krakoa is incapacitated, and he immediately thinks, the children of the Vault, the jungles of Ecuador. Forge had used Krakoan technology to seal off all the children of the Vault, but now the Krakoa is in the shape that it is. The children of the Vault are free. They know that the X-Men trapped them, and they have plans to kill all of them. Now, this is what picks us up with Emma Frost and Miss Marvel, with the White Queen using her persona Hazel Kendall, the personal assistant to Tony Stark. You see, the world doesn't know that Miss Marvel is a mutant. Not yet anyway, which means it is safe for her to go home. The only problem, her family believes her to be dead. They have no idea she is a mutant, they have no idea that she was resurrected. And so Emma wants to make life a little bit easier. With her inhibitor ring being off, she makes this brief, letting her know that in a moment your family will wake up. They will believe that you have been on a school trip to Washington, D.C. All traumatic memories of death have been erased. She had visited New York's coroner's office earlier today. The gist of it, nobody will know that she died. There will be no death certificate. And so her parents won't know how complicated, brave, and wonderful their daughter is. They won't know that she is an Inhuman, a mutant, or her secret identity as Miss Marvel. With Miss Marvel not sure on how she could ever thank Emma, Emma lets her know to just forget that you're a mutant, to stay away from the X-Men. Now, at the gala, she really wanted Miss Marvel to come out as a mutant, to be proud of what she was. But in a single night, the world changed. Miss Marvel had hid her powers from her family. She wore a mask. Now she is telling her to keep hiding. There is nothing to be gained from having her family terrified that Orcus might kick down the door at any time. There is no more safety net. The Five may have been able to snatch her from death, but they are gone. This is what takes us to present day. Miss Marvel obviously not listening to Emma because she is down here in the tunnels with the Resistance. Miss Marvel cannot stand idly by while all of this is ongoing. Even if she didn't have an X gene, she would still be fighting. But this isn't the first time that mutant kind has fallen. If they live through this, they'll probably fall again at some point. But at least this time, they're not alone. Steve Rogers has reformed the Unity Squad of Avengers. The roster skewed heavily with X-Men. Very symbolic, and the optics are the most important thing of this unity. But Steve Rogers and the others, they come down here to meet every so often. Never lasting long and always in a different location. But they routinely meet up to talk strategy, to give new information. But with the meeting coming to an end right here, we have Emma and Kitty who have a conversation. Emma wants to know what happened after the Hellfire Gala. After she fell through that gateway, she had fallen into Jerusalem Station, and when she did, she was met by a handful of Orcus agents. And obviously, this confuses Orcus. All the guys there, they believe that the gates have been closed. They confirm this. Not even Orcus is able to use the gateways anymore. But she quickly phases through the radio. She tells everybody not to move. She lets them know that she doesn't want to kill any of them, that they started this war that they won't win, that they can surrender now. She will make sure that they are treated well. And while all the Orcus soldiers, they begin to laugh at her. They know that she is a high-value target. She was on the Quiet Council. She was trained by Xavier. And with them laughing, she lets them know that you're worried about the wrong people. But when you get to hell, let Ogun know I said hello. This is where Kitty Pryde wastes absolutely no time. The first man dies whistling. Shattering his windpipe, he is choking on his own breath. You see, Krakoa was a land of law. The first was murder no man. But those days are over. As we see her phase a gun into a dude's head. One by one, Kitty Pryde begins to just massacre these guys. She knew that her sudden ability to access the Krakoan transit system represents a huge tactical advantage. It was a secret worth killing over. She was trained by the ninja Ogun, and so making quick work of these guys was an easy task for her. One by one, she decimates them. She lays down the hate. And much like Logan, she doesn't enjoy doing what needs to be done. She just wanted this to be over with. Grabbing 2 grenades off the guys that are left over, she pops them, and then she phases those grenades right into their chest, with a huge bloody explosion. There are 3 other agents off in the distance. One of them has a communication radio in his suit. She knows she has to take him off the board or he is going to report back. And so she silences him by phasing his suit into his neck and leaving it stuffed in his voice box. As she goes to take out the last Orcus agent, he begs for mercy, saying that the X-Men saved him. When he was up on the Bloom, he got sucked into space and the X-Men saved his life. Kitty Pryde lets him know that that is what the X-Men do. They save everybody they can, even their enemies. But she lets it be known that those X-Men, they are dead. She grabs his neck and she breaks it. This is the night that the Red Queen died. Not literally, but figuratively. This is the night that Kitty Pryde was reborn. This is the night that SHADOWKAT returned. But as we pick back up in the tunnels, what she tells Emma is that nothing happened. She puts on her mask and she lets Emma know that there is a war to win, that she doesn't need any help, and the new target that she is going after is Firestar. And that will be the end of this issue. So let me know what you guys think down in the comments. Absolutely beautifully done. I cannot give enough praise to the Fall of X. This is the aftermath of the Mutant Massacre. We are seeing what remains of our heroes trying to do some kind of counterattacks, trying to figure out exactly how Orcus is operating, with only a handful of individuals left. Trying to fight back against Orcus is going to be one of the most difficult things. Rescuing the mutants that are in that gulag is the most important thing at this time. But SHADOWKAT is out for revenge, believing Firestar to be a traitor. There are many individuals that have their sights on her. Now, they don't fully understand what's going on with her. They don't know the conversation between her and Jean Grey, so they don't understand that Firestar is on their side. But Firestar, she's working from the inside. She is playing nice with Orcus. They all believe her to be a traitor to mutant kind. That is because of the memories that had been implanted in the mind of Dr. Stasis, believing that Dr. Stasis secretly had her tapped as a secret agent, and so nobody is questioning why she is there. Not Nimrod, not Omega Sentinel, none of them. Until Dr. Stasis had come out and let it be known, nobody on their side of the table even had an inclination that she had been working with them. Obviously, this isn't the case because all the memories that Dr. Stasis have, they are all false memories. And if you guys remember, Destiny had gave us a little bit of a prophecy. One of those prophecies was that the Red Queen would fall. And while we didn't know exactly who that would be, I had speculated maybe Mother Righteous. But we are seeing that that is in fact Kitty Pryde. But the Red Queen didn't die. Not in the literal sense. Captain Kate Pryde, she is no more. There only remains SHADOWKAT. This issue was mainly hugely informational, letting us know exactly what is going on, what is happening in the aftermath of the Hellfire Gala. It is laying the groundwork. They are preparing their offensive. They prepare their counterattack. Who knows how long it is going to take them to make a devastating strike at Orcus. But mutant kind is moving the pieces. While Orcus believes that they have won, they believe that this game is over. This is far from the end. And mutant kind will be coming back with a vengeance. So let me know your thoughts, let me know your theories. If you would like to get completely caught up on everything going on with this story, check out the link in my description as well as the top of this video. It will get you completely caught up on everything going on with the Fall of X. If you would like to support the channel, you can always do so by joining the channel membership. Much like Patreon, having multiple different tiers, from $1 to $50, from loyalty badges to comics every single month. Not only are you helping out the channel tremendously, but you're getting tons of perks in the process. If you are unable to do that, do me a favor, subscribe to the channel, like this video, hit that notification bell, and with that being said, until the next breakdown.